Great. Well, I'm calling with some good news today. We have multiple starters for the Indiana Fever in the 2026 All-Star game. Congratulations first to Aliyah Boston.
AB made it, okay. Okay.
Kelsey Mitchell.
Oh, wow. Kelsey made it again? Okay.
Caitlin Clark.
There it is. Come on, man.
3 names, back to back. Aliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and then Caitlin Clark, all confirmed starters for Indiana in 2026. But watch how fast the room reacts to that last name, because the real story today is not who made the list. It's a question the WNBA left completely blank on this announcement, and by the end, you'll understand why that blank space is the loudest thing here.
First up, A'ja Wilson of the Las Vegas Aces.
It's Kathy.
We knew that was
coming.
coming. We knew that.
How are you?
Hey Kathy, it's A'ja and the team.
8-time All-Star, 7-time starter, our reigning MVP, A'ja Wilson, All-Star starter. Congratulations.
They're killing it this season. She deserves it.
They opened at the very top, and there's no debate about it. A'ja Wilson, the reigning MVP, called first. That's the league telling you the pecking order before anyone even discusses it. When the WNBA lines up who gets that phone call and in what sequence, the order is not random. It's a ranking in disguise. Keep that in your back pocket, because in a few minutes, he's going to take that exact idea and use it to expose something the league almost certainly hoped you'd skip right past. Because here's the setup. A'ja Wilson is the one name on this entire board that draws zero argument from anybody. She's the reigning MVP, an 8-time All-Star, a champion. When the top of a list is that clean and that undisputed, it makes whatever happens further down that list a whole lot harder to explain away.
Stewie, you've been voted as an all-star starter for the 2026.
Shut up.
They just set me up right now.
Right.
So first, congratulations to Paige Bueckers.
Okay.
And voted for the first time in her career as an All-Star starter. Congratulations to Jess.
And here's a name nobody should overlook. Paige Bueckers, voted in as an All-Star starter for the first time in her career. Think about the speed of that. She has barely been in this league, and the fans already pushed her into the starting 5, ahead of veterans who've been grinding for years. That tells you exactly what fan voting has become. It doesn't just reward the best player on paper. It rewards the biggest draw, the name people actually turn on the TV to watch. Sit with that, because the part that should genuinely bother you is coming later, when he starts asking about the votes the fans never got to touch.
Shepherd was hooping. Shepherd was hooping. She was hooping.
Okay, here we are in the office.
Nice to see you. Oh, and I love that. Okay, great. So now I'm actually taking you down.
Okay.
Sweet.
Special guest that would like to have.
Is it just Gabby?
You.
You have been voted in as
Oh,
an
wow.
All-Star starter.
She made it last year,
2026
too.
WNBA All-Star game.
Oh, Kathy girl.
Then the calls just keep rolling through the rest of the pool. One player after another finding out live, some of them stunned, some of them saying they made it last year too. And that's the part the league loves, the raw reaction, the emotion of a player hearing the news in real time. It's great television, and they know it. But notice something. The man reacting to all of this isn't only celebrating. He's watching the order. He's clocking who came first and who came last, and he's quietly building a case in his head. Because a smart viewer knows the announcement isn't just a party, it's data. And the sequence of that data is about to become the whole argument.
And I have some exciting W news for you today that we have a couple starters from the Minnesota Lynx for the 2026
I think it's Miles and Howard.
AT&T All-Star game. You ready? Congratulations to
Now it swings over to Minnesota, more starters off the Lynx. And this is a good moment to stop and ask what any of this actually buys a player. Because an all-star starter nod is not just a nice pat on the back. This is the selection that follows you. It shows up in your contract conversations, in your endorsement value, in how the league markets you on national broadcasts, in the legacy line people recite about you years later. Starters get the spotlight at the game, the pregame introductions, the camera time. And in this specific format, the very top vote-getters become captains and get to draft their own teams in front of everyone. So when you hear these names, understand there's real money and real status riding on where you land. That's the reason the next question isn't trivial. It might be the most important question of the entire night.
In the order that they went in, right? A'ja Wilson and then Aliyah Boston. Those were the first two players announced. But the order with the Indiana Fever wouldn't make sense since she said Aliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, then Caitlin Clark. I know Kelsey Mitchell was way down on the list as far as fan votes. I want to see the media votes, the player votes. That's what I want to see. Where did the players put Caitlin Clark this year?
This is where he stops cheering and starts investigating, and it's a genuinely sharp read. He points out that the league basically handed us the rankings without ever saying them, purely through the order of the calls. A'ja Wilson first, then Aliyah Boston, then the rest of the Fever group. Follow that order, and the two players sitting at the very top of this entire class both play for Indiana. But then he asks the question that actually matters, and it has nothing to do with the fans. It's about the two votes almost nobody promotes: the media vote and the player vote. Fan voting is the loud one, the one with the hashtags, the one the league pushes in your face. But it's only a slice of how a starter is actually chosen. The players in the league get a say. The media gets a say, and he wants one specific answer above all else. Where did the other players in the WNBA rank Caitlin Clark this year? That is not a side question. That's the entire case. Because here's what most casual fans never learn. The final result isn't fan votes alone. Those fan votes get combined with the media ballots and the player ballots, each carrying its own weight. So a player can be adored by the public and still get quietly dragged down if the other two groups decide to bury her. That's the machinery he's trying to crack open. He's not questioning whether she's popular. He's questioning what the people who don't have to love her actually did with their ballots.
Yeah, we know last year they put her at 9th. I'm like, Todd, get out of here, man. Caitlin numbers was crazy. Not last year. I think that was 2024. They made her 9th, dog. I mean, come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing, dog? I want to see the player votes and the media votes. That's what I want to see. I think I saw the media votes. A lot of them had Caitlin across the board, but they didn't say like first, second, captain. They didn't say anything like that. But they were just voting on like, do they deserve to be an all-star?
And here's why he's leaning on it so hard. Because we've seen this movie before. Rewind to 2024, Clark's rookie year. When the player vote came out, her own peers ranked her 9th among guards. 9th. In a season where she was breaking records, selling out road arenas that had never been full, and dragging the television numbers for the whole sport upward, the women she competes against looked at all of it and slotted her 9th on their ballots. Let that actually land. The fans had her near the very top. The cameras had her at the center of the league, and the player vote, the one cast by the people who share the floor with her, dropped her down the list. So when he says he needs to see the player numbers this year, that isn't paranoia. He's asking a fair question. Is that same gap about to repeat? Because if the fans keep loving you, and the players keep ranking you like an afterthought, that stops being a coincidence and starts looking like a statement made 2 years running.
She's been hooping, man. I don't care what anybody says. That lady has been hooping. All right, the defense been there. All right, she got blown by a few times, but she's shown times where she stopped very elite guards. All right, getting blocks, getting stops, steals. Come on, dog. Come on, dog. Consecutive 20-point games, 8 assist games. Like, come on, man. This lady has been hooping. All right.
And to his credit, he doesn't ask you to take the hype on faith. He backs it with the tape. Consecutive 20-point games, multiple 8-assist nights. And he doesn't pretend she's flawless either. He openly admits she's been beaten off the dribble a few times on defense, then immediately balances it with the blocks, the steals, the stops she's put on elite guards that people love to forget. That's the honest way to argue this. You don't sell her as perfect. You look at the complete body of work and ask one simple thing. If a player is producing at this level, on this stage, with those numbers, why does one specific voting group keep treating her like she's optional? And think about who that group is. It's not the fans who see the full picture. It's not the media who cover every single game. It's the players, the exact people who have the most competitive reason to keep a rising rival off the pedestal. He's not accusing anybody of cheating. He's just noticing that the one group with a motive is also the one group that keeps ranking her low and asking you to sit with that. Because if the on-court production is real, and the fan love is real, then the only place a snub can possibly hide is in the 2 votes we still haven't been shown. And that's exactly where he's aiming the flashlight next.
All right, so we see the players in the starting pool. I'm wondering who's going to be the captain. Did they throw the captain stuff away? Did they throw it out because Caitlin was on top? She was going to be a captain again, and then Aliyah Boston was on top as well. I don't know if y'all saw that list, but it was AB at the top and then Caitlin right under her. So it would have been 2 Fever players as captains. And it make me feel like if they throw the captain thing away, they didn't want Caitlin to be captain again. That's how.
Okay, this is the part I told you to wait for. This is the loud silence. He's staring at a full pool of confirmed starters, and one thing is completely missing from the whole announcement. Nobody named the captains. In this all-star format, the top overall vote-getters become the team captains and draft their own squads, and that is normally the headline of the entire reveal. This year, the league just quietly didn't do it, so he says out loud what a lot of people were already thinking. Did they throw the captain designation away? And more pointedly, did they throw it out because of who was sitting at the top of the vote? He says the list he saw had Aliyah Boston at number 1 and Caitlin Clark right underneath her at number 2. 2 Fever players, 1 and 2, which means under the normal rules, Indiana walks away with both captains. And his read is blunt. If the league suddenly decides captains just aren't a thing this year, precisely when the vote would have put Clark in that chair again, that is not a coincidence to him. That's a decision. Now, is that confirmed? No. And he says as much. This is his theory, but it's a theory built on a real, visible absence, because the captains genuinely were not announced. That part is not speculation, that's just what happened.
Work. Now, when we think about the reserves, I would say, let me see, man. Marina, I think she's going to be in there. Brittany Sykes, Kate Kopp. Let me see. Sonya, she's definitely going to be in there. Ryan, Alicia, I think both of them are going to be in there. Jackie might make it. I think she will. NECA, they're going to put NECA. Courtney. And then from there, I don't know. I don't know how many reserves they're going to have. But Kiki would definitely be in it.
Before he pushes that further, he pumps the brakes and does the fun part, guessing the reserves, and this is where you can tell he actually watches the league night to night. He fires off a quick list. Nafisa Collier, locked in. Angel Reese, who he says is going in for sure. He floats names like Jackie Young, Nika Ogwumokwe, Jonquil Jones, the kind of players who've been in this conversation for years, and he admits he's genuinely unsure in a few spots, going back and forth, because the reserve pool is a coin flip on the last couple of seats. But notice what this quietly reveals. It shows how deep the talent has gotten. There are more legitimately deserving all-stars than there are spots, which means somebody very good is getting left home, no matter what the committee does. Think about a player putting up a strong, quiet season, doing everything right, and still watching the reserve list drop without her name on it, purely because the pool is that crowded. And that overflow is exactly the pressure that makes every starter call, and especially the captain call, so loaded. When there's this much talent stacked up, every snub gets noticed, and every quiet little rule change gets noticed right along with it.
Captains. Who picking teams, man? How are y'all going to do this? Because if you go off of what we saw last, it's going to be AB and Caitlin. That's 2 Fever players. I don't know. With all the nonsense going on right now with Caitlin and Alyssa Thomas, man, look. Y'all got to do right by her. All right, allow her to be that captain. Don't be trying to draw up some nonsense to make sure she's not a captain. Come on, man. We don't want to see the nonsense.
And now he says the quiet part out loud, and this is the thread you have to handle carefully. He brings up what he calls the nonsense going on right now involving Caitlin Clark and Alyssa Thomas. Let me be straight with you about what this is and what it isn't. He's pointing at ongoing friction, the kind of on-court tension between Clark and Thomas that fans have been arguing over. He does not lay out the specifics, and I'm not going to invent them for you either, because that's exactly the kind of story that gets twisted the second it hits social media. What matters is the point he's actually driving at. His fear is that this tension becomes the excuse, that the league looks at the drama, looks at the headache of putting Clark in a captain's chair again, and uses all that noise as cover to quietly sidestep it. And that's what he's practically begging them not to do. His message boils down to this: do right by her, let her be the captain she earned on the floor, and don't drop some convenient nonsense just to make sure she isn't. Agree with him or not, that's a real accusation about process, not about talent. He's not upset that she made it. He's worried the league will move the goalposts the moment the vote lands somewhere inconvenient for them.
Get Kathy. All right, let me see what some people are saying, though, man. Get Kathy off the dang screen after the S she did. Man, people pissed about what went down. Looks like my ballot finally paid off. Guess the court's about to get extra sparkle. Looks like my fantasy lineup just got a glow up thanks to the fan votes. This is not what the F we said or voted. I mean, honestly,
And he is not the only one who smells something off. Watch him scroll the reactions, because the audience splits right down the middle in real time. On one side, you've got people cheering, cracking jokes about their fantasy lineup getting a glow-up off the fan votes. And right next to that, you've got people who are genuinely angry. One comment flatly says, "This is not what we voted for." Another says, "Take the captain title off the screen entirely after what happened." That's the whole tension captured in a single screenshot. Half the room is treating this like a celebration, and the other half is treating it like something got rigged behind the curtain. And here's why that should worry the league far more than any single snub. When your own fans, the people casting the votes and buying the tickets, can look at the exact same announcement and walk away convinced the outcome was manipulated. That's a trust problem no highlight reel fixes, and it cuts both ways. If the league lets Clark captain again, a chunk of the audience screams favoritism toward the golden name. If the league quietly removes the captain format, another chunk screams she got robbed of something she earned. There's no clean exit. Whatever they do, half of this passionate new audience is going to feel cheated, and they're going to say so loudly. The WNBA spent years begging for this level of attention. Now it has a passionate, suspicious, locked-in audience that reads every decision like a detective at a crime scene. That's the price of getting big. Nothing you do stays quiet anymore.
But I'm just trying to see who's going to be that captain. Pure disrespect, hilarity. Atlanta have no one top 4 team in the league, not one starter. That's a nice argument, though. I can't lie. That's a nice argument. But I might be making multiple videos today, man. Let me know how y'all feel about this starters pool.
And he closes on the one stat that reframes the entire conversation. Look at Atlanta, a team with real, watchable talent, and by the argument he reads off the screen, not a single player in the top 14 of the league, not one starter out of this whole pool. Whether that's completely fair or not, it drives the point home. These lists don't just rank players, they rank entire franchises, and somebody always walks away feeling robbed. So here's where I hand it to you. Strip away the noise, the drama, the Alyssa Thomas storyline, all of it. Just answer the process question by itself. If Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark truly finished 1 and 2 in that fan vote, and the league then quietly erased the captain designation this specific year, do you honestly believe that's a coincidence? Or do you believe somebody simply did not want to hand Caitlin Clark that chair again? There is no fence to sit on here. Pick a side. Drop it in the comments and tell me exactly why you landed there, because I read them and I want to see where this room comes down. If this breakdown made you see that announcement differently, tap the like button and hit subscribe so you're here the second the league finally tells us who the reserves and the captains actually are. I love you guys. Keep it smooth.